apologize. My name is Lisa Dublin. I'm a health and life coach, and I help you to speak, to live, and to lead with confidence because it is so important because confidence is everything. However, kind of messed up a little bit today because I just had to deal with something that was even more important. So I did that, and so my apologies, but I'm here and I'm going to make it worth your while. We're going to talk about confidence today and for the rest of August because confidence is important. And let's find out where you are. And there's confidence in all sorts of things in terms of, do you have confidence when it comes? Can you guys hear me? Let me just get that out of the way first. Can you hear me? Instagram, can you hear me? On Facebook, on anywhere else, do let me know. I'd be grateful for hearing from you. Just shoot me a little text to say, hey, I can hear you or not. That would be great. Anybody? So let's talk. Okay, what is confidence and do I have enough? And we'll be talking about that for the next while because I have to first tell you guys how I came up with today's, like this month's topic. Okay, so I've been away for a while just thinking. I'm very introverted. Hi, Stacy. I've just been away thinking and kind of processing certain things in my head. It's all good though, but it just takes a while. And I think I've been here before. If you're following me, you're accustomed to me coming and going. This is the only place that I do this. Okay, I promise. But here's the thing. So, we've been doing new things, and I'm not sure if you saw a couple, let me just say hi right there. A couple, like 2 weeks ago, I think I put out something called Monday Motivation. Guys, I don't even like the name Monday Motivation. Oh my goodness. I just, no. I don't even like the name. Okay. Right. But okay, thanks, Allison. Good that you can hear. But anyway, I put it out because I always love to connect with my audience. And when my husband and I were recording, and I was standing in front of the camera, that's kind of where we met. We're still doing our thing. And I just found myself evolving my opening line. So I usually say, hi, my name is Lisa Dublin. I'm a health and life coach, and I help you to live, to speak, and to lead with confidence, right? Hey, Winston, how are you? I usually say it that way. And then I usually go on to say, because why shouldn't you win? Because I feel it so deeply that you should win in life. Like, why should you not win? But that day when we were recording, I found myself saying, I got to the point where I said, I help professional, executive, and A-type women to speak, to lead, and to live with confidence. And then I just found myself saying, because confidence is everything. And it was this aha moment for me. What is that, Lisa? Where did that come from? What do you mean that confidence is everything? Of course, we know that if you have confidence and you don't have anything else, it's not going to work. Okay. But where I think this phrase that confidence is everything came from is because the last couple days before that recording, I had been, hey, Lydia, how are you? Long time, girl. I'm here. I had been thinking about my clients and thinking about my life and realizing that when you have a certainty that you can do something in life, when you truly believe in someone or something, there is a thing that happens in your head that makes it almost impossible for you not to at least try to do it. And in that sense, confidence is everything. Hey, Rebecca, oh my goodness, all my people in the club, the To All the Girls Success Club, welcome, welcome. And so that's what we're going to start off today. I prepared like a slide presentation that I'll be adding to and teaching from, sharing from the next couple of days. So do join me. It's going to be an hour earlier, okay? I'm late today, but tomorrow, please join me at the same time as we keep on talking about the confidence factor. And it was just that, like, wait a minute, what do you mean that confidence is everything? What I mean by that, hey, Janice, how are you? Nice chatting with you yesterday in the car. What I mean by that is that if you have confidence, you can accomplish a lot more than if you don't. If you have confidence, whatever that is, and we're going to find out in a while. If you're on Instagram, if you go over to LinkedIn or to Facebook, then you can see the slide presentation because I'm going straight on Instagram, and so the slide presentation will not be available there. But if you want to see it, you can join me at Lisa M. Dublin on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on YouTube as well. But let's get into it. The question for today is, what is confidence? And do you think that you have enough? I'm going to share my slide presentation and we'll take it from there. Okay. All right. So, yeah. So, this is just the opening little piece right there. So, Instagram, here's the question. What is confidence in your opinion? And because I'm teaching confidence, and because like there are areas in my life that I'm not super confident, right? But even there's a humility that even if I'm not that confident or I might not do as well, I can at least try. So that in itself is confidence. So when I came to plan the presentation, I was like, even before I go to a dictionary definition, let me see if I can trust myself to figure out in my head, having dealt with confidence or lack thereof in certain cases for the longest while. Let me see if I can come up with my own definition of what confidence is. And like some time ago, I was speaking with a client about just this, trusting yourself to have answers and to have thoughts that make sense and that you can put forward in the world to take that step. And yeah, you might fail. Yeah, it might not be as good as somebody else's. But what you're building in the background is that confidence muscle to say that I will take a chance on myself. I will try it my way and I will see if it works. So I thought about it, and this is what I came up with for my definition. I'm going to give you the dictionary definition for those ticks in the mud who will be like, okay, that's not official. Okay. Stay with me. And hey, Ronald, how are you? Confidence, in my opinion, is the belief in a person or people or organization to do a thing or be a certain thing. Okay. Let me give you all a joke. So, no, let's do self confidence first, and I'll give you all the joke after. Self confidence, in my opinion, is the belief in oneself to have a certain attribute or be a certain thing, to accomplish a certain goal or to do a certain thing to the point where you actually go out and attempt it. Notice I didn't say go out and do it. And I wonder whether you agree with me or don't. And I'm going to ask that question a little later. So I'm saying, in my opinion, confidence is not just, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, I can do this. No. Confidence is believing that you can to the point where you at least attempt to do it. So I'm saying, in my opinion, confidence has wings and legs and wheels. It's something that just simply happens. What do you think? Can you put your own definition of what confidence is for me in the chat, and we can take it from there? That'd be really nice to hear. Like, what do you think confidence is? Right? Instagram. All right, let's continue. So here's a dictionary definition of confidence. Here we go. So Instagram, you can't see it, but if you head over to LinkedIn or YouTube at Lisa M. Dublin, or I think it's the Basement Chronicles channel, then you can join in. Or on Facebook. But a lot of these young people don't even know what Facebook is. They're like, what do you do with this thing? You guys know that? According to the dictionary, this is what confidence is: full trust, belief in the powers, the trustworthiness, or reliability of a person or thing. We have every confidence in their ability to succeed. Now, reliability and trustworthiness doesn't mean that it's always something good that you trust a person to do, right? I bet, for example, I know. So, for example, if you heard that ex-President Trump insulted somebody, you trust, don't you? Because he's true to form. Just giving an example, because as well as being authentic, that's part of that. Okay, that's who he is. Like, you just trust that person to be that thing over and over again. Okay, maybe that's not a very, very good example, but I hope you get the point. Here's the second definition: belief in oneself and one's powers or abilities. Self confidence, self reliance, assurance. His lack of confidence defeated him. I put in the examples because I found them so relevant. Now, you guys, here's an example of confidence in action. See, like I trusted myself first off to go find a definition. And this is how you build confidence, honestly, or one of the ways that you build confidence. So I did. And if you realize, my definition was not too far off. Okay. At least I don't think so. Do you think so? Right. So this is what I came up with. And then I go to the dictionary and I find that there are enough similarities between my definition and the dictionary definition. Guess what happens in my mind about myself? Because I've trusted myself to come up with my own definition, and in that sense had like a bout of success where that is concerned, then it builds that confidence muscle. I can think, I can try. See what I mean? And that's how you do it, as opposed to simply just trusting people for our decisions, for our things. That's what we do a lot of the time. Instead of first trying to see what obtains in the beautiful minds that we have, whether we can come up with solutions and answers and suggestions that might work. And therein, you build the confidence muscle. So it's really like, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do I attempt and then fail and then get up and win? Or do I first win and then get the confidence? I think it's actually the first one. Let's move on. So here are some questions to think about. And I do hope that you join in, that you type something Instagram or LinkedIn. I so apologize, like, because I'm sharing the screens, I can't really see the comments, but I'm going to go back in and I will respond to everyone who takes the time to leave a comment. Can you do me a favor? If you haven't subscribed to this live and to my account, can you do that right now? So when I go live or when I post something, I hope it's going to be very relevant. If you're still listening, you probably are on this personal development journey, or you just my friend. That too, right? So please subscribe to the channels wherever you're watching me. If you are not subscribed, I would appreciate you following and being part of the conversation and the movement of winning in life. That's part of what it is. Okay, let's move on. Here are some questions to think about. Is it enough to just believe in yourself? And I'm going back to my first definition, my definition of confidence being something that has wings and wheels, something that you do something with that confidence, right? The second question is, what is the proof that you believe in yourself? So as you can see, like, I've moved it to self-confidence. Let's put it that way. What is the proof that you believe in yourself? Just look at your life. Where have you succeeded? And where have you, stepped out, sometimes unbidden, sometimes afraid, but done it anyway? Where is the proof that you believe in yourself, especially in the face of perhaps people doubting you and all of that? Listen, I'm going to make it worth your while. You stay with me. We're going to talk and go deeply into the topic a little bit today, because there are, as the third question asks, I do believe that there are levels to confidence. You know what else I've come to realize? There are also different ways of showing up confidently. There are different ways of showing your confidence. Confidence is not always a huge placard. I am woman, hear me roar, or I am a man, beat my chest. Confidence sometimes is very quiet, but very determined. And in my opinion, especially from what I've experienced lately in my personal life, that might actually be the deeper and stronger confidence. What do you guys think? Do let me know. Okay, LinkedIn, I'm so sorry. Like, if you somehow, some which what way, I want to see the comments, but I'll get there as soon as I finish sharing this. Okay, let's move on. So these are questions for you to consider. Like, Is it enough to just simply say, I believe in myself and not have any proof, not step out on the bridge of that thought to do something with it? Right? Like, so I always like to say stuff like, I'm a runner, so I run. Maybe like yesterday, I tried to do a 3 mile run. I only got to like 1.75, but this runner still ran because that's what runners do. As in, if you are the thing, you just be the thing and do the thing, is what I'm saying. So here's the example that I was giving. Okay, I think I've and always had great self confidence in most areas, partly because I think my head I'm always turned inwards, if that makes any sense. Does that make any sense to you? I'm always turned inwards. Like I've always learned to trust myself for results as opposed to anybody else. Okay. Even my parents when I was younger, like I would first try to figure things out. And so many years ago, the way that even started my business was I did an image consulting course. So we're talking confidence, okay? I did an image consulting course somewhere in New York, Sterling Style Academy, I think it was. Horrible experience, but I got my certificate because I paid my money. Anyways, and when I came back home, I mean, I've just always been this very authentic person, not very much concerned about at that point, like how it was put together. It didn't really matter. Everything was just a job. Being in the media was a job. It wasn't a matter of being in the bright light. It was always, and it still is, a matter of performance and putting on something great that people can enjoy and that I can, you think you look inward for confidence? Yes, exactly, Stacey. Look inward for it, right? And I came back and I didn't need anybody to tell me I was an image consultant because I think I had a couple fails. Okay. But Lisa went out, started matching her clothes, started talking about fabric and the cut and the this and the that. Right. Like when I look back, I admire that younger self. That was confidence just playing out. Like I didn't care. I just became the thing because I said I was an image consultant. I just became the thing. That's, and in my opinion, that's just what I did. And I feel like sometimes we let our confidence be dampened or diminished by hi Mega Show, hello. We let our confidence be diminished or not come to fruition because we are so concerned about what everybody else is thinking, right? When everybody else is waiting on you to take the first step and be brave and courageous so that they themselves can then step out and do the things that they wanted to do anyway but couldn't because they lack the confidence. I'm good. Thank you. How are you? Yeah. How are you doing? So there are levels to this thing. So that was a little story. So no, I just went about just doing my thing. I had hats, I had bags for the first time. Me who just really didn't care about any of these things before. And like obviously, like I think I still have elements of it now in my business. Now as a life coach and so on, as a speaker and training speakers as well, there's still that element of it, but it really just started first of all from, okay, I did the course, I learned certain things, I became that. Now because I believe I'm that, then I go out and do it. See how it works? It's a matter of, I first start with believing the thing about myself and then exercising that belief in how I now approach and handle the world. Let's move on. I have some lovely quotes that, oh my goodness, let's get into it. Okay. So here's this first quote. The name is right there. I forgot how to pronounce his name. Right. As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live. Oh, you love those classes and they are still relevant. Yes, Stacy, they are. Thank you. As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live. What are you trusting yourself to know about yourself? You guys have like one big story, for later on in the year, but it really just proves that. Especially too, I think as you get older, that you can trust yourself more, can't you? You've lived a little bit more, you've experienced some more things. Then You can afford to trust yourself. And so when I put that quote in, I was thinking, how does a young person who's bright and, what do you say, bushy tailed? That sounds like a squirrel, though. Just a young person, okay? How does a young person trust themselves? And when I look back, you have inklings of who you are from very young, don't you? You have, life gives you the things that you feel most deeply. You probably felt from way back then. And now these things are even more developed in you now. And so, like, even as a parent, I think, like, when the Bible talks about train up a child in the way that he should go, and it talks about according to who that child is, that's what it really means. So then you realize, hey Jeremy, how are you? My goodness, it has been a minute. Yeah. So even that tells you to just trust what is coming out of that kid. Trust what is manifesting. I want to use that word very judiciously. I'm not into the woo stuff, okay? But it's very true. It's what you see before you. Manifesting is just taking on physical reality. That's what it is, okay? So let's take it out of woo and put it in just, it's just language. It's just words, okay? So as soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live. How are you trusting yourself today? Well, what is life? How are you hitting life, and how is it hitting you? And are you taking note of those impulses and signals and all of those things that life is saying to you? Do a certain thing or be a certain way. Or are you ignoring, not trusting yourself and not trusting your judgment? What if you just tried? What if you just got quiet enough to figure out what you're telling yourself, what life is telling you, what God is telling you? And what if you just went with that? So that's one for you. Here's the second one. The ladies will love this one. Okay. Right. So, no, it's actually the next one. Now, this is like my fire quote. My fire quote. I heard it on a podcast, and I literally like just played it over and over until I transcribed it for my own self, because it meant so much to me and had so much meaning for being authentic and being confident and not caring, to a certain extent, the result of you being that confident and being that authentic, not caring about how it's going to hit certain people or whether you'd have to apologize and so on. But please stay with me, because I'm not somebody who's going to say to you, just be who you want to be. Because if I had to be who I want to be, let's not even go there, right? Anybody ever thought of what would you do if you would just had to be who you want to be? I think we need checks and balances. And so, in thinking out the topic, I try to put in checks and balances. So, stay with me. So, all of these, I know we have lots of Bohemians. Okay. My husband, Hillary, used to always like, he worked at the TV station, and then we started working together in our own TV outfit. And so, we know, just because it lent itself, the business lent itself to a lot of artists and so on, artists were always coming through. And if you've ever worked with any kind of artist, any kind of creative person, there's that element of, I will go with the flow, I will wait for the inspiration. Right? On the other hand, there's work ethic that says, no matter what I feel, these words have to come, the music has to come, the creativity has to find its way some which one way. Okay, so that was just a little aside, but bear with me, let's go. This is what Carlos. So the Secret to Success podcast is one that I follow very closely. It really has helped me in this journey the last couple years, since COVID in particular, to kind of like Eric Thomas is the lead there. Carlos Quinney, however, is like I think like the mastermind behind Eric Thomas. Let's put it that way, and a couple other people. And he has a knack for blowing people up who are very authentic. That's just his talent. So I took it very seriously when I heard him say that, because it was part of his MO in being able to know who's going to make it or not. And he said this: when you see, so IG, I'm reading off the screen, so bear with me. When you see somebody who has that it factor, he says, it is most likely because they are fully comfortable with who they are. I've said this many times here before. You probably have heard it, but it never gets old. It's a classic for me. Let me just say it again if you don't mind. I love words, and just stay in my world for a little bit. When you see somebody who has that it factor, it is most likely because they are fully comfortable with who they are. Tell me that is not the definition, yes, of authenticity, but definitely the confidence to just be yourself. And what happens when you are fully yourself is that you go full on, deeply into certain grooves, and the coordinates at which you land as a person, they are deeper and more accented than somebody else who's just skimming the surface trying to appeal to every single person. Hello, you're not for everybody. That's okay. When you find who you're for, and that comes from knowing who you are, people laugh at the saying that your vibe will attract your tribe. But that's true in a way. Who you are, the value system, when they say the vibe there, I don't know that it refers as much to energy as it refers to your value system is what and the coordinates at which you come together and that you exploit and develop. That is what, especially as if you're in business or whatever, that is what is going to bring your tribe. The people who will, you'll not have to um like convince or persuade to be clients, to be friends, to be with you, that kind of thing. So when you see somebody who has that it factor, it is most likely because they are fully comfortable with who they are. Where are you on the comfort level with yourself? I know, like everybody else, I think I have a lot of work to do, right? But I've gotten to the point where part of the confidence is whether people like it or not, I'm going to love me. I'm going to not just love me, because you guys know that there's a difference between love and like. I seriously feel so. I feel like you could love somebody, do it from afar. Liking somebody is liking their isms, their ins and outs, the things that are particular to them. That when you're around them and you like them, you don't have to change. Like, no, be you. It's all right. I'm enjoying the fact that you being yourself. So in that same vein, I'm enjoying my own self. See what I mean? In that same vein. Okay, let's move on quickly. I have one more, I think, and then we're gonna kind of bring it together. So here's this one. Like, ladies, you're gonna love this. That just sounds like one day waking up and realizing who you are and be like, no more. I'm gonna be me. And this one is from somebody called Lala Delia. I think is either Delia or Delia. I checked her out and she's she does some spiritual stuff and like I don't know. But the quote is what I was after, not the person. So please bear with me. Yes, it's better when people like you. I think so. I think so. But if they don't, they're just not your tribe. Move on. They're not for you. These are not your people. So if these are not your people, what are you doing there? Why are we staying in places where we are just tolerated and not celebrated? Right? That is something I heard for the first time when I came to Canada about tolerating people. And I'm like, why would you want to just tolerate me? Why would you not want the full Monty? Why would you just want to tolerate somebody? You know what that means? The implicit suggestion there is that something's wrong with you. If I'm tolerating you, I don't like you. Okay? Don't you agree? But here's the thing. Let's go back to our quote, right? I don't want to get carried away because it's been a while, so I have a lot to say, you guys. That's what it is. She remembered who she was, and the game changed. And I think like I'm talking about this tongue in cheek, like being overly dramatic. But this is very true. Just think of somebody who remembers who she was and goes into salary negotiations. Somebody who remembers who she was and takes back the reins of power and levels things out in a friendship or a relationship, right? Just think of somebody who remembers the institution that she makes wherever and stop trying to overcompensate, and just let it come. Just, you know, I know that you know who I am, so I'm just gonna let you reckon with yourself, and I'll wait for you. I'm not going to go out reaching and trying to beat on your head that I am valuable. No, if you can't see that, number one, you're not my tribe. But I do believe you are. So I'll give you some time, in my lovely female self, give you some time for you to recognize what you have. And if you don't, then we probably have to part ways as friends, as lovers, or whatever. Okay. Agreed. I believe the right people welcome you. Exactly. Hi, Morita. How are you doing? Long time no see. Right. And like, pardon me. The, I I kind of experienced that just recently, and just simply had to, when I remembered who I was, just simply had to simply, state the obvious. Many times, especially as women, we're we're told that if we acknowledge everything that we've done, you're being arrogant. It's not the same. So a very confident woman, will come across as like being arrogant, proud, unapproachable, whatever. But an arrogant, a man who says what he has done and what he can do is just labeled as confident. Let's level the playing field. Number one, you're supposed to tell the truth. So if you're good, you better say you're good. And what that does is lets people know, I know who I am. And it throws the ball back into their court to respond with like manner. So if I'm saying to you, and by my actions, it's not empty words, but by my actions, I'm showing I'm confident in myself and my abilities, and I'm able to prove it and back it up, then there's a responsibility that falls back on the next person to treat you that way. What I've realized, you guys, sometimes the people around us will just simply try to manage us. One way that we manage each other, I've discovered, we think that when we don't tell somebody how good they are, that person will somehow feel less, or they will not know. And many times it happens because you don't hear somebody say it, you don't believe it. I'm saying to us, part of the confidence is definitely taking the time to count your stars. Take the time to count your stars. Okay? Yeah, your lumps of coal too. No, you're supposed to know where you stop. I love that phrase from my fellow Trinidadians. That's where he stopped. That just simply means that's how far I can go. Right? So if you ask me, let me see, what can't I do? What don't I like doing? Don't ask me to like decorate a whole house or cook for like 30 people. No, I stop there. That's where I stop. Okay? But you need to be able to also count your stars, because when you do that, you're stating your obvious value. Sometimes people just simply are hoping that you don't articulate your worth, because when you don't say it out loud, because they themselves are never going to say it, they're never going to acknowledge the good that you do. They're managing you and hoping that you come down a notch or two in your own value. Count your stars and do it out loud. You were taught to count out loud. 1, 2, 3. Count your stars out loud sometimes. I'm not saying be obnoxious with it. Don't get me wrong. But it's very important. I've realized that about some people. Like, they will literally never tell you the good that you do. That's just trying to manage you and keep you at a certain level. Count your stars out loud and see what the reaction is. Then you'll see whether they really never took the time, or they did and they were trying to hide it. That's all I'm saying. Like, just try it. Just try it. Okay, let's move on. Now, where's all of this leading? And then I'm going to end. Thank you for spending the time with me. I have just one last point. Now, like I've kind of been not wrestling, but like putting myself together. My God. I just have a lot of, in my St. Lucian society, we like to call it Zafe. Zafe is when somebody just has stuff going on. just can't just be. but it's always thinking and so on. I'm that kind of person. So I was thinking, in all of this talk of personal development, for me, it's very important that I came up with a concept of live all. Okay. Live all means live your values out loud. That sounds like Lysol. It's not Lysol. It's live all. Lyvol. Live your values out loud. You heard it here first, okay? And for me, in all of this coaching and personal development, there is no way that I will not bring in that spiritual aspect because it's so deeply part of the success, part of the thinking out loud and doing things a certain way and coming to life in a sense of how can I win comfortably, solidly, in a sustained fashion. The spiritual is always very, very important, right? And so when I was thinking about how to start off the topic today, definitely the God factor came in. And I'm like, it's good to say she remembered who she was and the game changed. And it's also good to say, oh, geez. And it's also good to say stuff like, um, it's enough to believe in yourself. As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live. But what if that conception, that assumption in your mind is literally wrong? It's not working. There are some people that are living their values loud, and these values are not working for them. I said it. We live in a world where you have to make judgments, not on people. Like I have the best clients. I have scandalous clients. I have lovely clients because I always say I love to deal with not what is, not what it should be, but what is. That's the starting point. And there's always a lot to enjoy about people, whatever they think they are doing, good, bad, in between. There's you to start from a place of you're human. I love you. Let's talk. What are you doing? And then when we just deal with what is as opposed to what's supposed to be, which is many times so hypocritical, when we do that, then I think we have a better understanding of people. Oh my gosh, you guys, I've already been talking. Y'all see I could talk, right? Right. So here's the thing. My point is that where's the starting point for your confidence? As well as believing in myself, there's also a God confidence. There's a sense that I didn't make myself. Thank you, Lord. And because I didn't, maybe it makes sense to go to the person who made me to find out the best place and the best way to be. Because if I go to that original manual, perhaps I can find what I need to be able to manage this life that the manual maker knew that I would be living anyway. And so, as well as the self confidence, backed by the self confidence is a deeper understanding and a deeper reliance and confidence in God. See what I'm saying? So I'm literally like taking us up the levels. For some people, it's down the levels. At this point, I've lost some people. It's like, okay, there she goes. Woo woo stuff. Goodbye. No, you need to stick around because it makes sense. You need to stick around because the obvious question is your self confidence totally reliant on yourself and who you want to be and be all that you can be? Is that working for you? Might there be a deeper understanding of how to see yourself that if you adhere to it, will give you more success when you come out of that reality to face that same reality? And so I was thinking of there's a verse in the Bible. Let me pull it up now. And it says this. Let's go to it. Oh, geez. You know, I forgot to put the verse in scripture. I think it's somewhere. Is it in Peter? First Peter or something? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But anyway, here's you guys can screenshot it or something and go find out exactly where it is. Somebody tell me. I completely do not merely listen to the word, that is the word of God, and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. You want to know who you are and to believe very deeply in a sense of who you are? What I've found is that I always like to give that analogy. If you're driving a BMW, you don't go to the Hyundai dealership to get it fixed, to find out how the which what parts work together. You don't do that. That is like substandard. You are driving a BMW. Why on earth would you go to the Hyundai dealership? You're going from higher to lower. And my analogy for that is many times when we look at our conception and our confidence and our idea of what our identity is, that is for me the equivalent of you are the BMW, but you are literally listening. Hey, Ian, you are listening to and adhering to and taking on the lesser prescription of who you're supposed to be, which is what you think of yourself, what other people think of you. Jeremy says the implication of that reading is that you have to continuously feed your ego to feel valid. Why do you say ego? Why ego? Which one? That you continuously feed your ego looking into the mirror to feel valid, or mirror as an expression of vanity, or mirror as a conduit for truth? Which one? Because it's the two of them, Jeremy, isn't it? Is it mirror as we're looking at a mirror as in I need to look at myself to see myself, but the other way of looking at a mirror is that it is a conveyor of image, a conveyor of identity, and that's what we see in the word. That's what we see. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry. The ego here, let me see. The ego here is representative of looking at yourself. And yes, vanity or running all the time to a reminder of who you are because everything else around you tells you otherwise. Might that also be what it is? That everything else, like a lot of negativity is around us. You get it from parents, you get it from friends, you get it, some people get it from spouses, and it's not like just living in the world can be painful. And I find it pays to always be reminding myself of who God says I am, because that's the truest truth. Okay. So I hope this kind of makes you think about where confidence comes from. I'm not going to be like, okay, you just have confidence in God. No, He put us in a world. We live in a three-dimensional world. Okay. And for me, what that means is take into consideration confidence in all of the levels of all the ways that you do it in the physical. But ultimately, doesn't that confidence just first and primarily find its deepest meaning and sustainability in the author of confidence, the person who made you, if that makes any sense? Tomorrow, I want to continue the topic, talking about, like I broke it down into talking about where does confidence come in a relationship or confidence in a friendship. I had like that's one of my oh my goodness, like confidence in friendships. For me, it was simple things like, okay, if you don't hear from a friend, it doesn't mean that there's a problem with you. It means that that person might be going through their own stuff. Why don't you reach out? Because it's not all about you. Don't be like, oh my God, I messed up again in that friendship, so it's all about me. No. So we want to also look at confidence in an interview. This is in the weeks ahead, right? And one of the things, like, I love talking about confidence on the professional level as well, because, like, even up here, I've trained people for interviews here in Canada and so on. And one of the things that I found, one of the differences between like the Caribbean people and yes, it's a thin line. Yes, Stacey, it really is. Caribbean people, and it's like a just a more laid back existence, at least in my part of Canada, I find. Like just my estimation of people I've met at work and so on. There's that sense when you go when you go to the Caribbean and you're going for a job, that an interview is a fight. You know what I mean? An interview is a fight. Now I'm gonna get this job. I know I don't really care. No, no. Okay. There's that confidence that comes from an energy that I have to come up to scratch. And that was one of the biggest differences, like teaching that confidence to people, that you don't just go in like whatever is. No, that's okay for like normal, and it works, I think, just to have form bridges with people here and just be peaceful. When you're going interview or you're going out to get something, that confidence has to manifest itself in a dogged determination. It's a fight. And if I'm going to fight, I'm going to fight to win, you know? Anyway, I hope that piqued your interest. So come back tomorrow. It's not the same time. I was late today, as I said. So I'm going to be 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. That's 1 hour before now. Okay, so 12 p.m. MST. Join me here. Let's continue the conversation. And so, what are the takeaways? Let me stop sharing my screen now and come back full on screen. So, what are the takeaways? The takeaways for me, for you today, my dear listeners, everybody listening, would be this: to ask yourself that question, like, what is the proof that you have that you believe in yourself? What's your proof? What's your proof? For me, like, last thing, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Last thing is like, for one of my deepest beliefs right now is in my ability as a coach. I'm a coach. That I feel like I've always been a coach, and I just now found out. And so, because of that, it's very easy for me to pitch. I can help you to all sorts of people who are in positions of authority. No, I can help you. I so know that I can. It is a vehicle upon which I go out and try to help you and say, hey, you don't have to go through this. No, there's help here. Let me try to do this with you and for you. Right? That, for me, that is like the latest illustration of confidence, at least in my life. Now, if only I can now turn that to, let's see, house cleaning, maybe. Maybe I should try that. Take that confidence over to, yeah. Anyways, so the question for you today is, what is your proof that you believe in yourself? To look at your life and to see whether, you've been doing things that show that you have a deeper belief in yourself. There, I landed the ship. So join me tomorrow, same time, or no, at 12 p.m. MST, and we'll continue the conversation on the confidence factor. Don't forget, if you're looking for a life coach, yeah, I can help you. Yep, yep, yep. You don't have to do this alone. Like, you don't have to do life alone. Ever since I got a coach, my life has been better. My head is clearer. I can see what I have to do and put it in perspective. A coach takes you from good to great. That is what we do. So you probably need a coach. I feel like everybody should have, like, you just have just something when you're born to say, when you need a coach, it will be provided you in life at some point. So if that's you, reach out to me, DM me, or you can just connect with me everywhere: Facebook, LinkedIn. A lot of the testimonials are on my website now, lisamdublin.com. And so, yeah, we can take it from there. But see you tomorrow. Come back here and talk to me about confidence. So I'll jump on LinkedIn and all of them for a couple minutes before my next meeting, to kind of, get the conversation going. Thank you for listening. LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, wherever IG for sure, wherever you were listening. Thank you for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.